Hari Om, and welcome back to Life and Vedanta. Shall we begin with invoking the grace of Ishvara, the grace of Bhagwan, the grace of the Lord. Please join me in doing so. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om. In our previous session, we came to know quite a lot of things. But in a short way, if I explain it, we came to know that the world couldn't have been created by Brahman, because Brahman being the purest, the subtlest, the endless, the beginningless, one which cannot be parted. Therefore, the concept of Maya was introduced. What does Maya do? Maya becomes the material cause, Upadana Karana, and completely based in Brahman means Brahman endowed with Maya. Together, what is called as the nomenclature given to them together is Isvara, or the creator, emerges, and from it emerges the entire universe. We also understood that first came the great elements. The great elements came in their subtle form. Subtle in the sense they were purest in their form. There was no grossification yet. However, the natural query of a mumukshu comes that how did they emerge? How did all this happen? Therefore, the answer was given that Maya, which is Trigunatmika, meaning endowed or of the three qualities. The three qualities being Sattva, Raja and Tama. Sattva, knowledge. Raja, action, activity. And Tama, inertness, dullness. Like the examples given before. Whether they be cream, whether they be butter, or whether they be ghee, they are all having the underlining factor of the milk. In the same way, when we look around in the world, we see three aspects predominant in this world. The first aspect that we see is inertness. What is inertness? Like I explained in the last session, a chair is inert. If we move a chair from one point to another, and after some time move it from the second point to the third to the fourth, the chair does not object. Why? Because the chair is an inert object. When we look around in the world, you will see endless inert objects in the world, which by themselves can't do anything. We see in the world also Rajas, activity. What is activity? For example, we take a seed, we plant it, as the example said, the seed becomes a plant, the plant becomes a fruit, the fruit has a seed. When we plant that seed once again, what happens? Another plant grows. So the cycle, the movement of life, which begins, continues, ends, then begins, continues and ends. you see this movement in the world. This is due to the activity aspect called Raja. And naturally, there is a third aspect which is called the knowledge aspect, meaning whereby we can think, we can observe, we can analyze, we can guess, we can imagine. All this comes under the faculty of knowledge. Therefore, the Sattva Guna is knowledge based. Same way, three things that we see in the world, are these not exactly how Maya is? Therefore, through Maya becoming the Upadana Karana, means material cause. Obviously, if the cause has these three, the effects will also have the same. The Utpatti, the creation of the five great elements. How did they happen? Like we explained in the last session. Let me read it to you once again.
Tatha akasha sambhutah akashad vayuh vayas tejah tejas apah adbhya prithvi.
Out of the combination of these three, Sattva, Raja and Tama, Maya, which is based in Brahman, first got Akash, means space. When space emerged, it came with a quality. That quality is sound. Remember, they all emerging out of the Sattva aspect of the three gunas. As you can see, first came Akash, then came Vayu, then came Agni, then came Apaha, means water, and finally came Prithvi, means earth. Kindly get used to these words. Akasha, space. Vayuhu, air. Agni, fire. Fourth, Apaha means water. And Prithvi means earth. No doubt these five came, but we cannot perceive them as yet. Why? Because these are in the nascent form, means they are in the subtlest form. And by the way, we are speaking of a creation which is in a chronological order, and yet in that chronology the sense organs have not been created. Therefore, they are subtler than the sense organs. Therefore, even when we are currently, we can't perceive with our sense organs these subtle elements which are called tanmatras in their nascent form. Only when they go under a process of panchikarana, that this, what we see, these space that we feel, the other four elements that we can sense can be felt by us, seen by us. We see in this world a system, a chronology. We always see that there is a natural law that the world follows. How does this all happen? Because the creation process was itself in this fashion. Suddenly something came out of something? No. First came Akasha, space. From space came Vayu, air. From Vayu, air, came next is Agni, fire. From fire, you see that the next thing comes is water or Apaha. And finally, from Apaha, water, emerge the Prithvi, earth. It's a perfect chronology. Why I am calling it perfect, I'll be explaining to you in one moment. Allow me to explain to you why this is the perfect chronology. In the process, when we understand something, we find that there is a subtle element and there is a gross element. Now, what constitutes subtlety and what constitutes grossness is what we have to understand. Anything when we say is subtle, in other words, it means pure. What is considered pure? To give an example, if I take pure water in our way, suppose I heat water and collect some water vapor, and that water vapor is considered very pure. Why is it pure? Because it is water and that's all, nothing else. But in that waters I add a little milk. Now what has happened? The water and milk, they have become two components. So they are not as pure as only water. Now suppose I am an Indian, so we put our tea in it. So now there are three components in it. So now naturally the water, the milk and the tea together becomes three aspects. They have three different qualities. That means the subtlety has become even lesser, from subtle to gross. In other words, in subtlety or purity, there is minimum of any quality. One single quality is subtlest. And as the qualities become more, the subtlety becomes less and the grossness becomes more. Therefore, now when we watch how Akash is related to how many qualities and how Prithvi is related to how many qualities, therefore we call Akash as the purest and Prithvi as the grossest. The next verse goes in this way.
एतेषां पञ्चतत्त्वानां मध्ये आकाशस्य सात्विकांशात् श्रोत्रिय इन्द्रियं सम्भूतं, वायोः सात्विकांशात् त्वग् इन्द्रियं सम्भूतं, अग्नेः सात्विकांशात् चक्षुर इन्द्रियं सम्भूतं, जलस्य सात्विकांशात् रसनेन्द्रियं सम्भूतं, पृथ्व्याः सात्विकांशात् घ्राणेन्द्रियं सम्भूतम्.
The verse means from the sattvic aspect, only the sattvic aspect, not the raja aspect or the tama aspect. From the sattvic aspect of each of the five elements came one organ of perception. Why? Because each of these five subtle elements are endowed with one special quality. You will see. Akash has only one quality, that is called sound. Space, sound is traveled. Therefore, the organ of hearing developed. From Akash came Vayu. So in other words, Akash became the mother of Vayu. Vayu is air. So air had the quality of its mother, that is sound, and one special quality of its own. What is that? Can we see air? No. Can we hear air? Yes. What else can we do with air? Can we taste it? We can't. What is it? Correct. We can feel it. So the special quality that air brought by itself, with itself, is the tvak indriya, means the organ of sensation, organ of feeling. the skin aspect. From air came fire. So fire had one which was already sound, second which is the feeling, the organ of touch, and one special quality of it. What is that special quality? Heat. Think about it. Fire is the first element with some kind of form. You can see the element fire, but you can't see the element air, you can't see the element space. What is the special quality of fire element? Is the form. And whenever there is a form, look at these beautiful forms, they will be with color. So color and form, they go together. Why? Because this is the first time when light hits the object and it is reflected to your eyes. So you can see the color and form. Therefore, the fire element brought with itself the form. Therefore, the organ of eyes were developed. The next was water. What is the unique quality of water? Although water is tasteless, you can't really taste water. But can you taste anything else without having water in your mouth? If your mouth becomes completely dry, if your tongue is absolutely dry, you can't taste anything. Therefore, you have to have moisture in your mouth, in your tongue to taste. So, water came with its one special quality which is called rasana, taste, and the other three qualities. First quality of the akash, sound. Second quality of vayu, touch. The third quality of fire, form and color, and its own quality of taste. And finally came Prithvi. Prithvi brought its own one special quality, that is smell. And of course the other four qualities of the other four. In this way, Prithvi is the grossest, earth is the grossest because it has all these five qualities together. The subtler to Prithvi is Apaha, it is with four qualities. Subtler to Apaha or waters is the fire, it has three qualities. Subtler to that is air, it has two qualities. And amongst these five, the subtlest, which has only one quality of sound, is Akash. So quickly to recap, Akash came first with one quality, and that organ that was developed with that particular quality is the ear, the hearing, the listening, the sound. Second, the second element that arose was air. Air has two qualities, sound and touch. Touch means the faculty of touch, faculty of feeling. The entire body of ours is covered with skin, and the skin carries this particular element in it. Third came the fire. Fire is that element which got with itself the shape and color. How do we see shape and color? By eyes. So the organ of sight was developed with fire. So fire came third and it developed the eyesight or the vision, or what you can say is the organ of sight. Then came the fourth, water, apaha. It got its special quality, taste. The organ of tongue, taste. The senses of taste were developed with that particular element. Finally came Prithvi, the earth, with its fifth element, the fifth quality of smell. When you pour a little water on ground, on earth, and wait, and then slowly you will smell some amazing, beautiful smell. That is the natural smell that emits from Mother Earth. In this way, each of the subtle elements known as tanmatras, they were born in a chronological order, with each one of them having one special ability, one special guna, one special property of theirs, from which our organs of perception were born. And remember, perception means to gain knowledge, to receive knowledge. Therefore, only from the sattvic aspect of all the 5 elements were these 5 organs made. So, do we speak of only our 5 organs? No. The entire universe, wherever there are creatures which have these organs, they are created from the same 5 sattvic aspect, the knowledge aspect of the tanmatra, the subtle elements. You shall see on your screen a tabular column. We have made effort to put all these, the 5 subtle elements, then the special qualities, the corresponding organs, so that you can see it clearly and you can remember it in one go. You could also take a print of this and put it up somewhere, so that whenever the mind is confused about anything, why is that my mind is not able to understand something about the creation, look at this. You will immediately recall that how one after the other things have come, and how each particular element is related to one particular guna, property, and that particular property alone is what? That particular sense organ. Therefore, our ears can only hear sound, they cannot see. Our eyes can only see, they cannot speak. Our tongues can speak and taste, because it's got a special. It can speak and it can taste, but it cannot hear anything. Same way, skin can be felt, but it cannot actually listen to anything. However, there is one such organ which does all these 5 works together. Exactly. That's how a mumuksha should be. You should know answers before it has been asked. You guessed it right. The mind-intellect complex. If you quickly recollect, what are these external organs or equipments called? Bahir Karana. 5 sense organs and the 5 organs of action together make the 10 Bahir Karana, external equipment or external organs. And the mind-intellect complex is called the Antakarana. The Antakarana, just like the Bahir Karana, has also been completely created by the sattvic aspects only. But so that it can receive all the 5 impulses of the 5 different organs and understand what they are saying together in one shot, from the 5 subtle elements, sattvic aspect together were created the 4 aspects of our mind-intellect complex. What are these 4 aspects? 1. The manaha. Manaha means mind. What is the quality of mind? It is sankalpa vikalpa atmika, means it is always tossing between to do or not to do, correct or wrong. All these things keep going in the mind. Indecisiveness. Second is the buddhi, meaning the intellect, the decision-making faculty. Third comes the memory tape, the recall memory. Whatever that passes in front of our eyes, whatever the ears are listening, whatever our skin is feeling whenever anything has touched to the tongue or anything has gone through the nose, everything has been recorded. Consciously you may not recollect, but subconsciously it is always there. This is called the mind's aspect of memory tape, or it is called as chitta. And finally the fourth one, the ahamkara. Ahamkara means that aspect of the mind intellect complex where it attributes and arrogates everything to itself, as though it is the doer, it is the feeler, it is the perceiver, it is the thinker. Don't you say, in my opinion, I think like this. Yesterday I did this. Who is this I? Is it the hand? Is it the leg? It is the mind's that aspect which is called ego. And what I've just explained, this mantra says the same. It's on your screen.
एतेषां पंचतत्वानां समष्टि सात्विकांशात् मनोबुद्धि अहंकार चित्तान्तकरणानि संभूतानि संकल्प विकल्प आत्मकं मनः निश्चय आत्मिका बुद्धिः अहं कर्ता अहंकारः चिन्तनकृत चित्तम्.
So in this way, you see how logical and how chronologically it is being said. It is not something which has been said last year or 10 years before or 100 years before. Thousands and thousands of years before, this knowledge was available to us. In our culture, in our Vedas, our masters dispel this knowledge to us freely. So brilliantly it is said that the most logical way of knowing how this creation would come is only when you have an intelligent cause and a material cause. But how would the material cause come when there was nothing? Because there was no material. So how brilliantly it is thought that the material came from Maya, which is based in Brahman, the Sat-Chit Ananda, that which is permanent, that which is endless, that which is beginningless. And then how from Maya came the 5 elements, and how each element has one special quality which correspond to one special organ of our perception. And then how does the mind receive all this information together? Because the mind has one quality of all these 5 in the sattvic aspect together, so that it receives all the information that these 5 give it together. Naturally, how and what came from the rajasic aspect and how and what came of this tamasic aspect has to be spoken also. But for today, I shall leave you here so that you go through this talk once again and understand the concept that it is so beautifully conceived and presented. So, this is how we speak about the theory of creation, the Utpatti Prakriya. This is so unique to our Shastra alone. Nowhere other than our Shastra, our country, the chronology of creation has ever been shown in such logical manner. Let us thank those Maharishis who preserved this knowledge for us. Let us thank that Isvara, the Lord and the creator of this created world. And let us thank the knowledge itself. Kindly join me for the end prayers. Oh.